All right, welcome back. This is Eric and Val resuming our series on. I think I just called the first one persons, or did I call it? No, yeah,
Or
just persons.
person.
I think I just called it persons one. Just real boring. So
Yeah.
this is persons two, and I decided that what I can do is just read a
We
blog
can do
post.
that
Yeah, you
too.
can switch to me. So this is just a blog post that I did at probably 2:30 in the morning on that day. I just woke up and I had all of this in my head. I had to get it out. So I sat there
Okay.
on my phone and typed this out, and it took me about probably 45 minutes
Oh, yeah.
to get this all out and fix a little grammar things just on my phone, which is always time consuming. So here we go. This is, of course, continuing on the person topic. And at the time in 2020, in summer there, it was much more all about the hoax V thing. So I
Mhm.
had that more on my mind, and here we go. So I've talked about this for years, but nobody wanted to listen. But now in this hoax V epidemic reality, this knowledge has real applicability, which, if you comprehend, can save your life. Here it is, straight to the point. You are not a person, and exactly 100% of any kind of law that claims you must wear a mask or get a vaccine or do anything at all doesn't ever say it applies to you, the man or woman, but instead only persons. And yes, I am talking literally like the words on the page. Luckily for us, person is included in all state statutes, definitions, chapters, and it never includes man or woman. Etymologically speaking, person is, as many words are, a combination of two shorter words. Allow me to paraphrase some definitions. Per, meaning through or on behalf of. Son, meaning offspring or creation. And so, therefore, person means acting on behalf of some creation. Per the sun. Person. Yes, it really is that literal. Aren't words fun? Also, here's an interesting clip from Black's Law Dictionary under person. A person is such not because he is human, but because rights and duties are ascribed to him. You do not want either the rights or the duties mentioned. Now let's get into the dirt. A quick mind may be now thinking, whose creation and what creation? The answer is simple. The state corporation is the creator, and its creations are other corporations / legal fictions. Surely you've heard the phrase child corporation. To be more specific and to stay in context, the creation I'm referring to is the legal fiction named on the state birth certificate. These fictions are child corporations of the corporations we currently refer to as government or state. Also, on a fun side note, corporation is also one of those words made up of two smaller words and their related meanings. Corpse, a dead body. Oration, speaking. So, yep, a dead body that speaks.
Creepy.
Yeah, like necromancy. Like a court summons, like 1870s, that call forth one of their dead things, corpse orations, so it can make an appearance at a and speak at a hearing, like a seance. Necromancy confirmed. Also, what were you going to say something?
Mm-mm.
Also, to talk a bit about a related word, identify. In the legal world, the word identify means sameness or to be considered as united or associated. This is why anyone can identify as anything they want. It's a choice. Identification is not a proclamation of what you are, it is a proclamation that you wish to be considered associated with something else, some third party concept.
Yeah.
That's why people can legitimately say, I identify as a gay Nazi robot unicorn.
Or even to bring it into our reality right now of kids saying that they can be furries in school which is like,
And the teachers
like a
can't say.
cat or a dog
no
or
one,
whatever they
yep,
feel like, and they can't say anything
no
about
one can
it.
say anything about it because by the definition of the word,
Mm-hmm.
letters on paper, the actual definition is it is a decision to be considered something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you know why a police officer is absolutely trained to make sure you identify as one of the state entities, because it is this creation of the state that he has power over. He is an agent of the state given power over persons,
Mm-hmm.
as we saw in Persons 1, the video before this. But remember, all statutes say they apply to persons, never people. The modern complete definition of person in the legal world is a man considered according to the rank he holds in society. Now, this gets into what we were talking about yesterday, but it's just a quick mention here. Yep, that's right. Not a man, but a man that has agreed to hold a rank in the jural society. What are these ranks? Here's a few: resident, citizen, taxpayer, voter, officer. Many other ranks exist underneath the umbrella of the state's fictional world. Always remember, this is a world of make-believe. It has no physicality.
Side note on that, I was reading an article today from like back in the 1800s when like Virginia was forming states and such. In there, it showed that you actually had to be what was it, like an owner of a property
Okay.
in order to vote.
I think that makes sense. And I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
Basically, that's how like old America was.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because if you are having like hundreds of acres and a farm and employing people,
Mm-hmm.
your opinion actually matters more than your employees.
Yeah. That's true.
It actually does.
Yeah.
Because you have more responsibility in the what we now consider the jural society.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Despite the fact of this non-physicality, the whole point of this convoluted system is to enslave you, physically and otherwise. And now we get to how they do it and how you fall into the trap. The agents of the state trick you into identifying as one of their creations. You are tricked verbally and in writing. For example, simply answering in the affirmative to a police officer's "Good morning, sir," creates what is called tacit agreement, a verbal contract, to you being a sir,
Yeah.
one of the ranks in their society. So you've accepted a title. I'm going off script now. Okay, so now you are a person, which means you must obey the statute that says you must identify as one of the specific creations of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, next he will ask for an ID because you have just proven that you are required to have one on you.
Yeah.
And I talked to a cop in Wisconsin, and he was actually telling me that he can walk up to anyone on the sidewalk and ask them for their ID, and they can actually, I forgot what the penalty was, but he could penalize them for not having their ID on them.
Wow.
Yeah. This guy was like a total Nazi. I mean, like all the way, like the modern concept of Nazi.
Oh, yeah. When you worship every letter on that paper that they follow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just he's living in that world and he doesn't even know about the world of man, just natural man. So he's all up in his world of, he's over persons. And that is true.
Yeah.
That's why I'll never fight with these people, because they are, everything they're doing is right in their world.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Their trickery of how they get you to identify goes deep. This is why you need to start learning the definition of words. Words are weapons in their world of fiction. And now the crescendo. How to use this knowledge to save your life. Well, we kind of alluded to it. Never identify as one of their creations or anything that exists in their fictional world.
Mm-hmm.
Simply stop volunteering to step into the offices, ranks in society, they create for you. It does take some education to know what words to avoid, but it is possible and imperative to learn. Yes, we are in deep. Yes, people continue to say the phrase, "on my person," without even thinking what it means. Yes, it is your person that is employed at your job. Yes, it is your person who has access to your bank account. Okay. And on and on.
Mm-hmm.
You're just driving this mask all day, the person. We are in deep in these Satanists' monopoly game. We go about our days reaching down onto the game board, pushing the silver hat and thimbles, persons, around, playing by the rules of the game, their Jural society, bitching and moaning as they're taking away our rights. Nope. Their system never granted rights in the first place, only temporary privileges or duties, as that definition says. Billions of people over many decades feeling enslaved, and all this time to return to freedom, all we had to do was stop playing the game. That's right. You could have gone home to freedom at any time. Just tap your heels together, right? Wake up from the dream. I can't come back to the original world, not their fake world, right? The dream world. Yep. That has the green Oz. What's the city?
Wizard of Oz?
No, the city. The city of Oz, is it? Yeah.
I think so,
Yeah, it's all an allegory for the commercial system. So she goes into the dream world, and everything in the dream world is an allegory for the commercial system. Follow the gold. That brings you to the city. It's all green. Money.
Well, and it's a dream world.
And it's a dream world. It's a world within a world. It's the other world that we keep talking about. Yeah, it's all fake, as I just said. It's all an allegory for the commercial enslavement system.
Yeah, that's a good.
I can't tell you how to smoothly make the transition from playing the game to not. I'm just telling you that you must try. And then, I'll have this linked in the description so you can get the links here. There's about 10 years of information that I linked to here.
Cool.
Approximately 10 years.
Good.
And then, to change gears, Valerie has, I don't even know yet exactly what, but she was reading all day. Every time I looked at what she's doing, she's reading. I knew she was doing something interesting, and then so tell us what you got.
Okay, so I was breaking down one of the first things that the Constitution of the United States says that they want to enable or give to people, we the people, is the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Where is that
on the surface?
Where is that actually mentioned? What part of it?
Because
I actually don't know.
Actually, the beginning.
I actually don't know the Constitution or Bill of Rights or anything, and that actually gets to a point of seeming irony, because I'm saying like I'm way over 10 years in this topic, and so most people would think, oh, I know all the Bill of Rights and my rights, No, no, I'm telling you, the opposite is true. As always, the opposite is always true.
Yep.
Your natural inkling, if you're worldly, is always 180 degrees incorrect. So instead, to know how to be free, you need to stay away from anything in the government. Constitutions, Bill of Rights, all these things, because those are always and only created to apply to creations of what we currently call government. And of course, where's the concrete evidence of that? Well, as we've already been going over, 100% of U.S. codes and state statutes say persons must, persons may, all persons shall.
Okay, so it's actually the United States Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
Of July 4th, 1776, which that
sounds familiar now. Yep.
And a lot of people in this freedom movement want to kind of point towards this being a huge thing. Bring back 1776.
Yep.
I've seen it everywhere.
Yep.
So they think it's this grand thing that has been appointed to people.
Yeah.
But what I found of course, was the exact opposite, the inversion of the surface looking all wonderful is
Okay.
actually not.
Okay.
So I have a couple of the definitions. Let me
Yeah,
just
you said you wrote down the definitions.
yeah.
All right.
So, well, at first, I'm just gonna bring in what a right is because they talk about it a lot in a lot of these.
Where'd you get this?
So the right should have come from Black laws, I believe.
Okay.
Is an entitlement to something. That's pretty much what it says. So I wrote, in Christ, we are not entitled to anything, just as God's chosen people were shown through Jesus that they were not entitled to God's kingdom. Gentiles were adopted into God's kingdom through Christ alone. It is not entitlement that saves you. It's through Jesus' sacrifice on the cross that saves you. So that right there, just giving a right to someone and to say that it's an entitlement to something is going against our God-given rights.
Well, and the very for a word or kind of miniature phrase of entitlement means that there is a higher authority that first creates and defines that title and then grants it to you.
Yeah.
So right on the face of it is an implied slave
this
master
for you to have in a sense. Like you're not making the choice.
There's an implied slave master there.
Okay. Yeah.
Just in the phrase.
Okay, so we're going to go down to the first one, life.
Life, liberty, and yeah, sure.
Okay, so the definition in Black's dictionary.
Oh, wow, that's in there. It's weird.
Is that state of animals and plants or of an organized being in which natural functions and motions are performed, or the organs are capable of performing their functions. So right there, I'm thinking, okay, so as long as someone's like on life support, which I think this is why they call it life support, because life is supporting their organs. Like that's the only thing that they have to support in order to have life. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that it doesn't bring up life being anything but your organs functioning. It's just such a bleak outlook on what life is.
Weird. So what you're really saying is it's not specifically expressing like the health of a man and his family and friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're saying that, we want you, like in this statement over here, it's a well-known phrase, they say, and it's supposed to like make people feel like good about this, like life. Oh, awesome. But then the breakdown of what they're saying is actually they don't care if you're just on life support, as long as your organs are functioning.
Right.
That's what it's broken down to. Not that you're like living a fulfilled, like you said, a healthy life at all.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. So that's life. And then we'll go to liberty.
Oh no.
Yeah.
My spirit man is in a frenzy every time I hear that word.
So liberty originated from the Latin word libertas, derived from the name of the goddess Libertas.
Yep.
A worship deity of Rome. And I said to say you have liberty is to be in tune with the Antichrist, because you are essentially saying that you are worshiping this deity. If you want to have liberty.
Right.
So Black law's definition, they even define libertas as liberty, freedom, a privilege, a franchise. So let's see.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Their definition of liberty was freedom. And then I wrote in here, well, theirs is exemption from extraneous control. Well, I had to dig deeper what this is, and it's actually immunity from an irrelevant or unrelated to the subject being dealt with control.
I find interesting there, it says exemption from extraneous control.
Yeah, extraneous. Yeah.
So not exemption from control.
Yes, it has to be just an unrelated to the subject being dealt with control. Like that. What?
Just more land of confusion and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So in other words, if liberty actually meant something good, it would just say freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolute freedom, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like the word freedom. I mean, I haven't actually broke down the word of freedom etymologically, but
Yeah.
it starts with free, so it sounds good. Unless dom means like the negation of.
Well, actually, I have it up right here.
Really?
The state of being free, liberty, self-determination, absence of restraint, and the opposite of slavery. So it is probably one of the best words, better words, I should say.
It's better.
But still not free from saying liberty.
Also realize you're reading these definitions from within the context of the other world.
Correct.
The very world of slavery. So it's almost like, think of the Matrix movie again, and they've like, how free can someone that's plugged into the Matrix and living in that world, how free can they be?
Mm-hmm.
They can never even be even 1% free.
Yeah.
So the word is nothing more than, as you kind of alluded to before, just something to make people feel good.
Yeah, that brings up. I won't go into it right now. It was something that I had read that it said, oh, right here. Speaking of property owner, it said right here, the highest right of a man can have to anything. I just thought that was interesting.
Property owner
Yeah.
is the highest right.
Yes.
Strange,
Yeah.
because to me, well, since I've learned some things, a right is only that action which is not wrong.
What's an entitlement?
Yeah, well, in the slavery, in
Oh.
the Matrix, it is. Yeah.
Oh, you're saying yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking from the correct world first.
Correct.
Now.
Yeah.
Like
I've been like in this Black Laws dictionary all day. So
yeah.
But that brings up to a good point of what I was saying here, that they say freedom from all restraints except such as are justly imposed by law. Well, what's
imposed?
Justly? Yeah.
That's,
so I'm like,
that's a relative term, because
it's almost irrelevant in their terminology to say justly.
Because at any moment,
because there's no morals there.
There's no.
It's according to what is morally right.
It's relative. It gets into these people's what's called moral relativism, which changes greatly from decade to decade.
Correct. That's the scary part. Because,
well, the Matrix, in the Matrix movie, you saw how easy it was for them to change things. That's how easy it is for them to change their false world here. Oh, just write a new law, like,
yeah,
make a new government agency, blah blah blah, hire some new agents to fill those roles.
Yep.
They're just like Dark City, they just go in and change the world, because it's their fake world. They can change anything they want at any time, make new rules. That's why I love the actual God's kingdom, God's kingdom.
Yeah.
Because it's based on an absolute truth of there's a creator, you are the creation.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here basically to be farmers in short.
Something that you even said yesterday about that. I lost my train of thought.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I can show something interesting on my screen.
Okay.
So anytime I think of, anytime I hear liberty, I think of this statue right here. There's a very high resolution version of it here on Wikipedia. So this is Lucifer Liège Luc Viateur, whatever. So maybe it's a French statue. It's done very well. I'll point out a couple things here. First of all, the nose, the face. So that's a familiar very unique face / nose,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. Statue of Liberty, right?
Yep.
Where's the face? There it is, right? Very, very, what's the word? Specific face, right? It's like identical. And it's not just the face. So he's like chained up to this rock. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Statue of Liberty is, let me show you feet, chains. Statue of Liberty was chained to a rock, but I believe the chains are portrayed to be broken. There it
On
is.
purpose?
Yeah, I think on purpose.
Okay.
So I'm getting to something here. Now, there's a broken crown in this statue right here, and a broken scepter. So a crown and a staff. Okay.
It's broken. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it's broken.
And oh my gosh, this is not working very well. Okay. And down here is an apple with a bite taken out of it.
Funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
A universal symbolic representation of the fall of man via
Mm-hmm.
partaking of the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Yes.
Okay. And he's chained to the stone, and he's actually, I think, chained via his wrist up here too. And of course, that is clearly the face of the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we go. Statue of Liberty, clearly same ancient being, ancient goddess, unchained on America, overlooking America and unchained, and looking directly at, what is it, Manhattan, right? Oh, looking right over New York City, in which contains the world headquarters of the UN. So there you go. Lucifer has been unchained on America. I mean, this is obviously a statue, but it's a representation of
Symbolic
what happened
of that.
of what happened in the spirit world.
Yeah.
Whenever this happened, when was this? Like 1700s or something? I honestly don't know my history very, very well on this, but the symbolism is obvious. Even down to the robe that he's got here on him. He's got this big robe.
I want to say this may have correlated close to 1776 with the Declaration of Independence.
Okay. Well, we don't know, but anyway, yeah, the symbolism is obvious. This is Lucifer holding up his eternal flame, the light bringer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I believe that Shahi, it's like a she-he, but I believe that she also goes as Columbia or Isis or so there's like a couple other words that I used to know more on the top of my head. This gets into Jordan Maxwell's stuff. He went over this very well. But yeah, this is basically just a representation of an ancient goddess, and it's Lucifer.
Oh, yeah.
Did you remember what you were going to say?
No, not at all. But I will go back to what I was saying here with Liberty. Now that you pointed out all that. It says in here that Liberty has a positive side and a negative side in the law, in this science of law.
Someone says the negative side?
Yeah, so the negative side, it denotes the necessary restraint on all, which is needed to promote the greatest possible amount of liberty for each. And I wrote in here, if this isn't the most communist statement ever, freedom from restraint as long as it correlates with the greater good of all.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And what comes into my mind is, I think it was like a Martin Luther King Jr. Quote, how it's an injustice to anyone is an injustice to everyone. So it actually is not really related very well. This is flat out saying it's an injustice right in the face to everyone. So, wow, yeah, lame. I was also trying to find this old painting of I forgot, it's something like Lucifer unleashes his horde on the earth. I can't find it. Just doing a really quick stupid Google search, I'm coming up with that TV show Lucifer.
Oh my God.
Which is actually such a good show. But also the face in that very famous painting. It's another like very old thing. It's the same face.
Yeah.
This wide nosed, like, is it a man? Is it a woman? Kind of face.
I was looking up a goddess a few weeks ago, and it looked exactly like the Statue of Liberty as well.
Yeah.
It was like I can't even remember the name,
Okay.
but it was some goddess that looked identical to the Statue of Liberty.
Okay. Well, is that our video then for the day? Just
Nope.
what
So,
else you got?
geez, Eric,
Hey, I thought you were done.
we haven't got to Pursuit of Happiness yet.
Oh, right. The last
Okay.
part of the phrase.
Yeah, so let me see. Well, anyway, so I have this up on my screen still for Liberty. Some interesting stuff, but we'll go to what definition of pursuit. So this is a Webster definition of pursuit. The act of pursuing an activity that one engages in a vocation, profession, or avocation, occupation. So pretty much your pursuit to find an occupation, a trade, or profession. So that's what their pursuit of happiness pretty much is. So in Black's Law, they actually define pursuit of happiness.
Wait, the phrase?
The phrase.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Okay.
This right or entitlement includes personal freedom, freedom of contract, exemption from oppression or invidious discrimination, the right to follow one's individual preference in the choice of an occupation and the application of his energies.
Whoa.
So
you're free to go and find yourself a job.
Boom. That's all it is. That's all they mean.
And also it said, what is it? They used the word personal. Where is it? Oh, I've got it up on my screen here too. They use the word personal. Where was it? Include personal freedom. You don't want personal freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yes, they make you want to be free, and so they're going to give you give you some rights for your person. But
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Again, remember this whole thing. All these definitions we're ever going to read, they're in the Matrix.
Yeah.
They're in the fake world. If you want to know the real world, you just read. I don't know. Read John 3:16.
Read the Bible.
No, I'm just going to say it's even. Read John 3:16. Agree and believe with what it says.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, all the truth will come to you. Whether it be the rest of the Bible or some fellow
or just waking person. Yeah, or just having a lot of discernment in this world right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I said last video, the water bearer is pouring out the Holy Spirit. Yeah. So as soon as someone gets, as some religionists might say, gets saved, as soon as someone becomes a temple for the Holy Spirit, well, you get like a bucket now that can be like capturing the water that's pouring out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fill your bucket, people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
and start pouring it out.
Every year there's like more. Actually, I'll use David Icke's phrase here. Back in the 90s, he kind of coined the phrase truth vibrations. And all he's talking about is pouring out of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
He's just using different words.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's from, born and raised in like godless England or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but he's saying the same thing. Truth vibrations. And he said they would be like coming from the sun, basically. And that's why I think sun gazing is an amazing practice. I did it for a couple months.
Yeah.
In Florida, before Michael came and destroyed everything there. And my eyesight improved, and I had like super extreme revelations and visions.
Yeah, because you connect yourself with the ground and the good natural vibrations that
With
we're supposed to be connected
with
with.
the Son of God.
Yeah,
There's a reason why it's using the same words.
yeah, absolutely. That's why we do need to connect more with nature
Yep.
and get unenslaved. Is that a word? From what we're talking about,
Yes.
from the person.
Yeah. And yeah, and along with that sun gazing, I had to be barefoot on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
on the
yeah, of course,
ground.
yeah.
So it's like just doing that is just huge. Just being out in the sun and with your feet on the ground. I know that so many people
I've
talk
heard
about
that
this.
too.
So many people talk about it. Yeah, I mean, basically, we are just like water bags, right? So we absorb a bunch of electromagnetic radiation throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
and just like a wirelessly charging cell phone, I mean, we're absorbing stuff and holding on to it, and if it doesn't have anywhere to go, it's going to be like causing havoc in a way. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, everything now is a attack on the natural man
yep,
with our electronics and living inside and everything. If you think even being in a car with all the electronics in a vehicle,
yep.
um,
Even my car, it's 10 years old now. Turn it on, and it's like,
it's
you
everything.
can hear all
Yeah.
these frequencies and stuff,
Yep.
and then
And the sun's covered up. You got a roof on it. Most cars.
you got the rubber
And
tires keeping the car all statically charged up.
yeah,
They can't go anywhere. Even shoes are like a conspiracy.
I know. Yeah.
Because,
Stops you
because
from touching the ground.
and they're rubber soles.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps you charged up. Charged.
Yep.
David Lynch is electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Electricity as a conduit for demons to travel in. Yes,
Yeah.
that is actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it keeps you charged up for those demons to keep on hopping from you, either from hopping from you to another, or
Yeah.
from the electrical outlet to you, like like
I
in Twin
know.
Peaks season 3. Yeah,
I know. Just talking about this more and more, it just makes me want to sell my car and get a horse and be connected in tune, even with an animal on the ground. It would
yeah,
be so much more spiritually empowering throughout your day traveling
right.
than what we travel in today.
Yeah, yeah, that would be cool.
Hmm.
You just got to be shoveling shit all the time.
Hey, it's good for the plants.
Oh my God, that's right. Everyone needs the fertilizer anyway.
Exactly.
So yeah, everything man does is stupid and bad.
Yep.
It gets into my concept of the zero sum reality. You like I say, you push in here and something pushes out over here.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you're out of balance.
Hmm.
But what was in here is out here. So you're not only out of balance, but you're broken.
Hmm.
So now man's got trillions of endeavors, which is trillions of finger pushes in this direction,
Yeah.
some amplifying on others.
Hmm.
And so we're just that much more out of balance and that much more broken.
Yep. Enter in all the cancers of the world, all the autism of the world, all the everything.
Everyone's got bad eyes, basically.
Yeah.
Me and Val are wearing contacts right now.
Yeah.
So many things. Messed up everything. People's
Mhm.
minds, bodies, and spirits.
Yep.
But if you're, as I said before, a temple of the Holy Spirit, you can at least fight back pretty good against most things.
Yeah.
But these bodies are not you, as the source of you. So even if they come and kill you, then all good.
Yes. That's right.
We just can't make any more YouTube videos then. Okay. Is that it then?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Parsons video 2 over. See you next time.